I am back after a week that helped me build something essential to live a good life: resilience. That might surprise you. Holidays are usually about, taking it easy, relaxing. Building resilience while being on holiday seems to be like a bit of a hard thing to do. Well, it's not. In this video, I will give you 7 key components of building your resilience and also some practical exercises for each one of them so you can become as tough as nails or as flexible as bamboo. Relax. Building resilience can be quite fun. My name is Greg Angelbert. I've had about a 20-year corporate life where I went from being a trainee to a managing director, vice president, and from managing myself to managing about 1,000 people. Today I'm a master coach helping people, teams, and organizations to know themselves, to design their future self, and to become their future selves. Resilience involves the ability to overcome challenges and setbacks, bounce back from adversity and recover, adapt to change and remain flexible. And what you get out of it is that you can grow stronger, you sustain your well-being, you thrive, you maintain a positive outlook in life, and you move forward in life. A study published in the Journal of Positive Psychology found that higher levels of resilience were associated with greater well-being, lower levels of stress, depression, and anxiety. Another study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people who demonstrate greater resilience were more likely to achieve their goals and experience greater success in life. Life is about challenges, whatever form they take, and from the earliest moments in our lives. Being learning to walk, to talk, having our first crush, the first separation, our first house, the first kid, etc. It's not hard to get better at resilience. We do it all the time. But we might not always be mindful and aware of it. Now, to the 7 key pillars for building your resilience. The first one is positive self-talk. It involves using encouraging, supportive, and empowering language when talking to yourself. And let's have a practical exercise called reframing. Start by identifying a negative thought or situation which is causing stress to you, anxiety. For example, you might be feeling anxious about a presentation coming up at work. Next, challenge this negative thought by asking yourself, is it true? For example, you might want to ask yourself, is it true that I'm going to fail this presentation? Finally, reframe the thought by looking at the situation in a more positive, in a more constructive fashion. For instance, you might tell yourself that you have thoroughly prepared for this presentation, that you have key insights to share with the people that you will be presenting to, and that you're confident in your ability to present and get your message across. The second pillar is emotional regulation. It is the ability to manage and regulate your emotions in a healthy and adaptive way so you can better cope with stress and reduce anxiety. And for instance, you can use a name it to tame it exercise. Start by identifying the emotions that you feel. This could be anything from anger to frustration to sadness or anxiety. Once you have identified the emotion, then label it by saying it out loud or writing it down. For instance, you might say, I'm feeling angry right now. Take a moment to observe the emotion without any judgment. Notice how it feels in your body, where you feel it, and how intense that emotion is. Validate the emotion by acknowledging that it is a normal and natural reaction to the situation in which you are. For instance, you might want to tell yourself, it's okay that I feel angry right now. Anyone in my situation would feel the same. Finally, practice self-compassion for yourself by being understanding and being kind to yourself. Treat yourself as you would treat a good friend who is going through a tough time. Pillar number 3 is about problem-solving skills. It is the ability to identify, analyze, and solve problems in an effective and rational way. There are many ways you can learn problem-solving skills. You have tools like brainstorming, critical thinking, root cause analysis, decision-making tree, SWOT analysis, mind mapping, fishbone diagram, Pareto analysis, 5 whys, and many other mental models. Let's use an example with the 5 whys. Start by identifying the problem you want to solve. For example, you might be struggling to meet a deadline at work. Ask yourself, why is this problem happening? For example, you might ask yourself why you are struggling to meet this deadline. Repeat the question why 4 more times, getting to a deeper level of understanding every time. For example, you might ask yourself, why am I struggling to manage my time effectively? Why am I easily distracted? Why don't I have clear priorities? And why you don't have the right resources and tools to get the job done. Once you have identified the root cause of the problem, then brainstorm some different ideas to come up with solutions. For instance, you might create a schedule, a to-do list, so you can manage your time and your activities in a more efficient fashion. You might turn off your distractions like your phone or your emails. You might have a priority of tasks, and also you must ask your manager or people around you for additional resources to help you. Evaluate the potential solutions that you have identified and pick one that is the most effective and also the most feasible. Then implement the solution and monitor how it's going to see if it's effective. If necessary, adjust your approach or try a different solution. You like this video so far? Then you know what to do, and don't forget to subscribe, put the notifications on if you want to receive content like this every week. For summary of key points, tools from this video, sign up to my Patreon below. Also, check out other YouTube videos from other YouTubers who are talking about the same concept of resilience and that you might find interesting. Pillar number 4 is about social support. It involves having positive relationships and connections with others who provide emotional, informational, and tangible resources when needed. Try this exercise if you're not sure about how to build social support. It's called the circle of support. Start by identifying in your life the people who are providing you spiritual, physical, intellectual, relational, and emotional support. This might be about family members, it might be friends, co-workers, support group, or even neighbors. Draw a circle in the center of a piece of paper and write your name at the center of it. Then draw lines radiating from this circle, and where at the end of the line you can write the names of the people who are supporting you for the different elements that we've talked about. And place the people who are closest to you closer to the circle, and the ones where they're further apart, well, further apart from the circle. Once you've mapped out your support network, then it's time to assess the level of quality and strength of each person that you have there. Consider how much support each person provides, how often you interact with them, and how much you trust them and how close you are with them. And looking at the dimension of spirituality, physical, intellectual, relational, emotional, identify whether or not you feel that there are gaps, that there are missing people in any of those dimensions. Then identify potential sources of support that you could bring to fill the gap. You might want to join a specific network, a support group. You might want to reach out to people that you know from the past and who could actually support you on some of those elements. Or you might want to find a mentor or a coach. Finally, you make a plan to nurture the relationships that you have in your support network. You can schedule regular check-in or activities. You can express gratitude to them for their support, and also make sure that you provide support to them. Pillar number 5 is all about self-care. This is about intentional actions that you take to support your physical, your mental, and your emotional well-being. It involves taking time for yourself, setting boundaries, engaging in activities that help you recharge and relax. Set some time to reflect on the activities that help you feel relaxed, refreshed, and rejuvenated. This might include things like having a bath, going for a walk, meditating, reading a book, or sometimes spending time with friends. Make a list of all the activities that come to mind. Once you have your list of self-care activities, it's time to prioritize them according to how frequently you need to do them and how much time and effort they require. Be sure to include both quick and easy activities that you can do in a pinch, but also the time-intensive activities that you will need to plan in advance. Now make sure that you make time in your schedule for those activities. Block off the time for anything that you need to do on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, and do the same as you would do for any other important appointment in your life. After a few weeks of following your self-care plan, just have a moment of reflection and ask yourself, how is it going for me? Have you been sticking to the plan? Are there any particular activities that you enjoy the most, or actually some that just don't seem to be working out. And just adjust your self-care plan as needed. Pillar number 6 is about curiosity, learning, and new experiences. By cultivating curiosity, you become more open-minded and adaptable. It also helps you be engaged with the world and find opportunities for growth and learning. Learning new skills and gaining knowledge will help you to be more confident and more competent. That will help you become better equipped to navigate a wide range of different situations and challenges in your life. Trying new things and have new experiences will help you develop a sense of mastery and confidence. You step outside of your comfort zones and you face new challenges. You learn to adapt and grow in the face of adversity. If you want to learn more about learning better, then check out this video. And pillar number 7 is seeking help. It allows us to recognize when we need support and to access resources that will help us cope with the challenges we have in life. I have made an entire video about how to recognize the need that you have for help and how to best ask for this help. So check it out here and here. Circling back, how was my holiday resilient? I was with my partner Karen, who is an important part of my support group. We did a challenging volcano climb that tested us as well as brought us better stamina. We discovered many aspects of the culture of the Indonesian island of Lombok and some awesome landscape. We had several planning issues along the way that challenged our problem-solving abilities and our adaptability. We applied some new techniques in some challenging scuba dives, which brought some intense emotions that we processed and eventually accepted. So, a good resilience holiday. The secret aspect of resilience is that it is self-sustained. The more you build resilience, the more you build your capacity for having more resilience. It is a reinforcing behavior because that's the new you you're building. You're becoming this resilient person. And I will leave you with a quote from Jodi Picoult. The human capacity for burden is like bamboo, far more flexible than you'd ever believe at first glance. A key contributor to your resilience is how much motivation you have for what you do every day. And if you're interested in exploring more about how you can build your personal motivation, then check out this video here.